Black Bag is directed by Steven Soderbergh in his second movie in 2 months. Presence just came out earlier in the year, so this is a pretty fast turnaround for him. Here we find Michael Fassbender as a British intelligence spy who is given a week to find out who might have stolen something incredibly valuable from the agency. He's given a list of names, and one of them has his wife's on it, played by Cate Blanchett, and now he has to figure out who might have done whatever this is and hopefully catch that person in time before something catastrophic happens. I talked about this a little bit with the Presence review as well, but I'll say the same over here. When it comes to Steven Soderbergh movies, I enjoy most of them. I'm a huge fan of his work, and there are some movies of his that rank among my favorite movies of all time, especially when it comes to the Oceans movies that he did. But going into Black Bag, something that I was very excited about was getting to see this entire star cast work together, because it's not just these two. You also have regé-jean in this, Naomi Harris, Tom Burke, Marissa Abela, and Pierce Brosnan. That's a pretty stacked cast. And so naturally there's a lot of anticipation with that. And having seen the movie, it did a pretty good job. I really enjoyed Black Bag. This is a very old school 90s thriller, and there's something really endearing about watching it. It really feels like a throwback in the best ways to old school espionage work that used to exist before. And so much of the way the film is made, the dialogue, the score from David Holmes, which is once again fantastic. It almost feels like you're reading a John le Carré novel, which is kind of cool if you think about it. And the cast here is fantastic. I don't have to tell you that Michael Fassbender and Cate Blanchett are great in the movie, but I will anyway. They are fantastic over here. And they play George and Catherine very well. There's a great sense of mystery to both the characters, as is written into the story, because sometimes they're given missions that they cannot talk to each other about, and so each one of them has aspects of themselves, like layers, which are hiding beneath certain things. And every now and then they come out in these more engaged, discussions that they have with other members of the agency, which is something that happens in this movie quite a bit, because like I mentioned earlier, George has a list of people that he's going through. But I also really like that the movie manages to raise the stakes without having something big happen, which is something that I feel sometimes when it comes to movies can be lost. But in this case, it manages to make you feel tense about everything going on, especially because there's a tough decision to make. If George does, in fact, find evidence suggesting that his wife might have done something, he will have to do something to fix that situation, which of course implies that he probably will have to kill her. And when you think about that, and when you think about the framework of the story that it's working with when it comes to their relationship and how many choices are going to have to be made if that time does come, it's all very compelling, and it speaks to the strengths of the performances and the writing that it manages to land those aspects as well as it does. And you spend a lot of time with the characters who are there, the other ones who are in the agency. And all of them get a chance to shine. In particular, Marissa Abela. I thought she was kind of the scene stealer of the movie, which also doesn't really surprise me, because if you've seen Industry, which is I think the second time in recent memory I've mentioned the show Industry. I think the first time was with Alien Romulus with David Johnson. Fantastic in that show, and she very much has that quality to her where she's able to really command a scene when she's on screen, especially in those heated arguments that happen every now and then, where she's phenomenal in it, which is the other thing I want to give praise to. This is a very tightly written script. It moves at a very fast pace, and even though there isn't a ton of shooting out or stuff like that, if you're expecting it to be an action movie, it's not quite that. So much of it is built into just conversations that are happening with characters. It never loses your attention. It never loses you for a second. It keeps you guessing about what's going on as more and more things about characters are revealed. And David Koepp did a really great job writing it. And not to mention, it is also a very tightly paced movie. It's about 90 minutes long, and it really flies by, which is also the other thing which made me think of like a 90s thriller. Something about that aspect of it where it was pretty short and concise, to the point, doesn't overstay its welcome, and it manages to tell its entire story from start to finish. and I really enjoyed that. I will say that there are aspects though where it does set up a bigger, more expansive world than we get to see. There are some things that are brought up regarding what's going on at the agency and how these characters have ended up in the places where they are. And I was thinking to myself, I would like to see a bit more of that. We never really get the chance to delve a little deeper into some of that stuff, and I think that is something that I would have liked a little bit more of. If I really had to point to issues towards the movie, I would say that that was one thing that I felt was lacking in it. And while I would have liked a little bit more of that, at the end of the day, despite that, issue, it still managed to create a very effective spy thriller out of it, and one that I had a really great time watching. And so I do highly recommend checking out Black Bag this weekend if you get a chance to see it in theaters. It's a very, very fun movie. Great cast, great direction, great writing, great score. I mean, there's not much to not like in it. Very well shot as well, and there's also some great costume designs and set designs over here that were really, really impressive, and those are worth commending as well. I'm going to give Black Bag an 8.5 out of 10. Guys, thank you very much for watching. Look forward to more videos very, very soon. As always, if you like this, please do subscribe, and I'll see you guys at the movies.